guys, Bucket Game Bad today, bringing our video. And today we're going over some Modern Warfare 2 information. Tom Henderson made a video over on his channel. I'll link that down below. He went through a few different points here that we'll go over about what he's known or has information he's received from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 development so far. Some information on the DMZ zone. So I will link that down below. This is going to be a quicker version. His video is around 18 minutes. I'm going to go through this a little bit faster. A lot of this is information we've known and I've covered in previous videos. However, we do have some good points here that he covered. I was able to take some notes, and I wanted to go through and give this to you guys in case you don't feel like watching the 18-minute video. But I do obviously give credit to him for the information that we're covering here. So his link to that video is in the description box down below. So starting off, first off, the information we've covered previously, here being that the overarching story of this game is going to be a drug war against the Columbian Cartel. So this is mainly meant to be a grittier version of 2019's Modern Warfare as far as the missions and the tone of the game itself for the campaign. The AI is going to be more advanced, meaning when you shoot their legs, their limbs will either completely cease to function. You can blow off limbs. They will make like gargling noises and die, so it'll be a lot more graphic as far as injuries where you shoot them. If you hit them in the plate carrier, things like that, they won't be going down as easily. And then, like I said, limb damage, things like that, neck damage. It'll be more realistic death and effects for the AI and more realistic damage models based on where you hit them. So the drug war against the Colombian Cartel, we've covered this. Basically, think of the Sicario movies. So Sicario 1 and Sicario 2, Day of Soldada. I've recommended everyone watch that. Both those movies, if you haven't seen them before, that way you're familiar with kind of the story. Also, the movie from the late 90s with Harrison Ford, Clear and Present Danger, is a really good movie, which will also probably be right up the alley of this campaign. I'm sure Call of Duty Infinity Ward will take a lot of moments from all three of those movies and put it in this campaign, as they typically do take themes from different movies we've seen. So I'm expecting to see a lot of Sicario 1 and 2, as well as some Clear and Present Danger aspects in the campaign story for this game. And another thing here is that Task Force 141 is returning for the campaign, obviously. However, given that the story is taking place in Colombia against the cartels, there's going to be more infiltration type missions. Think of shoot house type missions, more close quarters combat. The vehicles will be different. We won't be seeing tanks and things like that that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. It won't be as urban of an environment. It'll be mainly dense forest, jungle, obviously some towns and things like that as well, but mainly like rift boats, things like going on like that, airdropping into places, and going on foot, and just light vehicles to patrol around. So we won't have any tanks or anything like that for the most part, unless there's a mission set outside of Colombia. Next up, assets from Modern Warfare 2 Remastered will be returning here, or present in Modern Warfare 2. So Modern Warfare 2, the remastered version, which was supposed to be the campaign, was actually in development and was canned because 2022's version of Call of Duty is going to be the reboot of the series again, picking up with Modern Warfare 2. So I know that can be a little bit confusing, but the assets from Modern Warfare 2, the original Modern Warfare 2 remastered version, are going to be reused and put into the new Modern Warfare 2. That includes things like maps, different blueprints for weapons, as well as operators, things like that will be reused. We saw that with Modern Warfare 2, the campaign remastered. We did see things like the M4 blueprint for the task force, as well as some different operator bundles like Ghost, for example, was taken directly from Modern Warfare 2. And then we also saw the return of things like Shadow Company. So I'm sure we'll see more Shadow Company, things like that along those lines should be present in Modern Warfare 2. It makes sense for them to reuse those assets. That's just new content that they can put in. It may not be a copy and paste, maybe enhancements of the things from Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, which would be really cool to see, especially a lot of those weapons. I know they had really nice looking like AK blueprints, things like that back in that game. UMP-45, Vector, a lot of good guns in that game, so hopefully they can reuse those assets and give us a lot more content for the newer version of Modern Warfare 2. Next up here will be DMZ Zone, or DMZ Mode. So Demilitarized Zone is the third mode outside of campaign and whatever other third mode they do with outside of the, so it'll be campaign, multiplayer, and DMZ. So that'll take the place of Spec Ops that we saw in Modern Warfare 2019. So we've talked about this again. This is going to be supposedly Call of Duty or Infinity Ward's take on the Tarkov type game mode. Now, a lot of these leakers use the word Tarkov game mode, and I want to kind of use that very loosely because I've heard that a lot, and I think that term comes from a lot of players that maybe don't know or play Tarkov. So Tarkov is a PvPvE, which this mode will be. So player versus environment. So there will be AI on the map. Now in Tarkov, there's a very vast monetization system. There's a flea market. There's different traders, different quests and things like that that you go on. You're going in the game, you're looting, getting things, extracting at different extraction points. And if you go in with stuff that you don't insure, you lose it for good. But the goal is to do different quests, gain different, more rep with the traders, and eventually you build up, get more money by trading, completing quests. You can trade for items, build weapons, and do all this stuff to gain, basically build your own economy and bankroll yourself. And then you can afford to build really nice high-end guns eventually down the line. So Tarkov, very complicated game in itself. So DMZ Zone, or DMZ, if there is Tarkov elements in there, it sounds like there is going to be so far. It's been in development for 3.5 years as of now. So by the time it releases later this year, it'll be about 4.5 years. Will contain a lot of the original Modern Warfare 2 maps in the map area itself. So the original Modern Warfare 2, they're going to be using a lot of those assets, or POIs, points of interest, for the DMZ map. And that was built from the ground up. The DMZ Zone map, or DMZ map, was built from the ground up. So it's not a reused map, which we'll get into. Modern Warfare 2 maps, or POIs, will be expanded upon from what they originally were. So think of like the game mode from Black Ops 4 Blackout, that Battle Royale. They used a lot of Cold War, or excuse me, Black Ops POIs, but they expanded upon them. So think something similar to that. This is meant to be a standalone game mode built from the ground up. So it's meant to stand alone outside of Warzone, outside of campaign and multiplayer, obviously. It is, like I said, PvPvE, so player versus environment. The AI system has been completely overhauled for this mode, as well as campaign, with the things that we talked about before. And there is going to be a looting and monetization system. So it does sound in line with a true Tarkov game mode for a AAA shooter. We'll just have to see how close to a Tarkov game mode that is. This is still Call of Duty. It is still an arcade game. Tarkov is not an arcade game whatsoever. So we'll have to see how they want to handle this mode. I really hope they make it a gritty, hard, more mature type game mode for that Tarkov type crowd. I know there was a big crowd for like the realism game modes and things like that. If they can take those aspects of that, put it into a Tarkov-esque game mode, this mode is going to be a big win in my opinion. And this will stand separate from Warzone as well, which we're going to get into right now. The Warzone map will use the DMZ mode map. Now the DMZ mode map was built, like I said, from the ground up using old Modern Warfare 2 assets, or POIs, and that map will be reused for the new Warzone map when that launches. If the game comes out in, say, October, November, the new map will probably launch at the end of the year, or they may even put a gap in there until the new map and the assets from the game itself launch. It may even wait until 2023, early 2023, based on how they do this. And like I said, hopefully, I've said this previously, Tom Henderson didn't say anything about this, but hopefully this is going to be a relaunch of the Warzone game mode, meaning everything up until now would be wiped, and Warzone itself would start fresh with only Modern Warfare 2 and the new map and the Modern Warfare 2 weapons, and that would be it. So this would be hopefully like a brand new iteration of Warzone. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case. It'd be a little bit difficult to cram 3 or 4 total games into one for Warzone, and we've seen Warzone having some trouble now, so we'll have to see what they do with that. I really hope they start fresh and go and build from there. Now, this game supposedly is going to be for past and current generation of consoles, alongside PC as well. This could potentially be the last Call of Duty to release on all last and current gen consoles, though. So the fact that it will be for all those, we'll have to really see here if there will even be cross-platform play or cross-generation play. Hopefully there's no cross-generation play based on this game, but we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. We don't really have any information regarding that, but we'll have to just see what they decide to do with that going forward. Now, the first game, this will be the first game with a full 3-year development cycle, really since Modern Warfare 2019 for the most part, so no issues with development so far to this point. COVID has had a bit of an impact, but at this point, a lot of the developers are getting used to working from home and limited time in the office. So therefore, there's this will be the first game to release in a while that has a full 3-year development cycle. Should be a well fleshed out game. QA issues are also hopefully going to be resolved, and the game can be tested fully, and it will not launch in a buggy state like we may have seen with some of the other Call of Duties since Modern Warfare 2019, as well as pre-alpha footage. So Tom Henderson and some other content, I guess leakers will call them, or data miners, leakers who have inside connections, did see some pre-alpha footage. I know Modern Warfare 2 OG Ghost over on Twitter as well. So the pre-alpha footage game looks very visually impressive, and compared to previous Call of Duty pre-alpha footages that Tom Henderson has seen, this one looks the most visually impressive thus far. So he makes a point to say he doesn't know if it's going to be a good game or a bad game, but the state that it's in right now does look to be very good and progressing well, and it seems to be that Infinity Ward is going to make the game that they want, and hopefully it's going to be a grittier take on the franchise to build off Modern Warfare 2019 based on what we're seeing. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are you excited for Modern Warfare 2 here in 2022? Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody enjoyed their New Year's celebrations, and we're kicking it off first video of the new year with some Modern Warfare 2 information. So let me know what you guys think down below. Until next time, this is Buffering Gaming, out.